Hello. Today we're going to talk about how we at GoNimbly utilize Clay to pull in responses from a Typeform and automatically enrich those contacts, those accounts, as well as create opportunities, products on those opportunities, as well as custom objects. This workflow will also go over how we create custom Notion docs, as well as utilize the Slack integration. So one thing to note about this workflow is that we are receiving work to do from a partner of ours. So what we have them do is we have them fill out a type form, and they give us a whole bunch of information on that type form. So we pull in those responses on this column here. We've pulled out those individual answers to those questions from that type form in the form of these columns. Okay. And then what we're going to start doing is we're going to start enriching it and looking it up against Salesforce. So we look to see who is the company name that we're going to be working with. We look to see, is there an account in Salesforce? If not, then we're going to create one. Then we get the final ID. Then we're actually sending it to a separate workbook for our full account enrichment. From here, what we do is we get the potential person that we're working with. We get their name from the form. Then we look to see if that's in Salesforce. If not, we create it. Then we send that off to a secondary workbook to enrich that contact. So by the time it hits here, that account is fully enriched from our other workbook. Now, what we're doing is, for us, if this is a high priority account, we're going to actually send it to a Slack channel. Then we have all of our account enrichment information that we need for that account. So we are a little bit more prepared going into our conversation with that potential client. Then what we're doing is we're looking at who sent us this potential client. We create them within there. And what we do is we send it to another workbook, which then puts them in a reach campaign. We update and create that record of that person who sent us the lead in Salesforce. Okay, and now we're going to actually start looking at the type form. So depending on what their ending of the type form was, whether that was booking a call with us directly or not, we're able to determine, was this already pre-assigned to someone or not? So if it was, what we're doing is we're using Clay's Notion integration to create an entire Notion doc full of all of the information that we need, as well as a link to our pricing calendar so we can quote them out, a fully enriched Notion doc for the SE work that we're going to be doing. So we create that Notion doc here. Now, if it wasn't assigned, what we're going to do is we're going to create a separate version of that same Notion doc that we created for the ones that were assigned. Now, for the ones that aren't assigned, we're actually utilizing Clay's round robin feature to assign those deals that were not previously assigned from the form, which is a really fun way to utilize it. Now, next, what we have here is we are sending a Slack alert. So we are saying, hey, we've just been assigned a new deal. Go ahead and check, and it's got a link to the Notion doc in there. We send the same type of message with a little bit different verbiage for those that were not assigned. And then what we do is we send it to a Google Sheet So we can do a little bit more advanced reporting and pivot tables within there. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to write all of this information to another table. So we're going to look at our quote op and creation. So we've enriched and sent all that information from the Typeform. Now it's about creating those opportunities. So we have all of those fields that we've brought in from the other table. We have our start date, what their CRM is, the accounts, all that jazz that we need to actually create the account, or create the opportunity rather. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look and see if there's an existing opportunity. If there is, great, we're just going to update that. If there isn't, we're actually going to create one. So we have some Salesforce validations that we need to have within here. So we have our columns to meet those validations. But we create our opportunity. And then what we're able to do is actually create the products associated to that opportunity via the create product on opportunity, or the create records functionality within Clay. And then we're actually able to create our custom object of ours and attach it to that opportunity as well for a revenue schedule. And then we're actually able to assign the contact roles within that opportunity as well via the Salesforce create contact roles and update that op. So from the moment a Typeform is filled out to when this last row is run, it takes about 1 minute and 30 seconds for us to get fully enriched contacts, fully built out Notion pages, Slack alerts, opportunities created, all within about 1.5 minutes. It now takes us about 1.5 minutes to do this, when doing it by hand may take 15, 20, 30 minutes at a time. Part 2 of this workflow is going to look at how are we utilizing Slack workflows to create documents, or to create contracts for these opportunities that we've created when we're ready to send those out. So stay tuned for that.